What's up, everybody? Benji Bruce here, and we're going to talk about why your programs aren't selling. So you got online programs, but for some reason they're not selling. This actually happened to me. In fact, I think it happens to pretty much everybody in terms of your programs aren't selling and you're thinking, what the hell? I've got the bomb diggity type of program and nobody's buying this damn thing. So what exactly do you do? Like, what's the problem? This is usually the main problem that I'm about to tell you. It fixed everything for me in terms of sales. All you have to do is just one thing. So that's basically what I want to talk about. So a while ago, I'm creating all these webinars, right? And this is like a hint. I'm creating all these webinars. None of my webinars are freaking selling. And the reason was because I was talking about content. Like a lot of people say, you want to deliver all this content. So I'm saying like, all right, you guys got to get your CRM, create your schedule like this, and do a lead score like this, sales cadence like this. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, this is a freaking brilliant ass webinar. Oh my goodness, everybody's going to buy the damn thing. Nobody bought. And then I will watch other people's webinars. And on these other people's webinars, they're sitting there like, you got to be persistent. You got to be great. You got to feel the feeling inside. And then they generate like $1 gazillion in sales. And I'm thinking, what the hell? And I couldn't figure out why. Like, I couldn't figure out why they're not teaching anything. They're just motivating people. And I'm thinking like, what the hell? I mean, I'm sitting here actually giving real advice, real information. For some reason, people aren't buying. So that may be you. And so here's the reason why these motivational webinars and just motivational stuff in general, it actually get people to buy. It's not the solution, by the way. It's not to be motivational. So here's what they were doing that I wasn't. I was describing the external problems that people were having. Here's how you use your CRM. Here's how you film with your phone. Here's how you do a sales cadence. Here's how you do a lead score. I was describing all these external problems. What you have to do is describe the internal problems in terms of here's how people feel. It's like, oh, here's how you feel. Oh, how do you really feel? So what you're really doing is you're describing people's internal problems. That's how you actually sell. So you want to think about it from actual storytelling, like an actual storytelling standpoint. Any storyteller will tell you this in terms of like movie makers, screenwriters, all that sort of stuff. They focus on the characters, and the way they get the people to like the characters is really think in terms of to think in terms of how do you describe that character's external and internal problems. Every character has like these internal problems that's going on. So that's really what you're trying to do in terms of just the best characters. So what you're doing is you start out with, let's say, external problems. They capture attention. You're like, look, man, you're trying to generate sales, and for some reason you're not generating sales. Your webinar sucks. You're trying to create an amazing webinar, but for some reason it's not working. So you capture the attention with the external problem. Your webinar doesn't work. Your sales video doesn't work. Your sales page doesn't work. You suck at cold calling, whatever. So you start with the external problem. But the way you keep people's attention is you focus on the internal problem in terms of how people feel when they're actually doing that thing. And so a long time ago, I remember reading this where it said, if you can describe a person's problem better than they can, they'll feel like you have the solution to that problem. And so that's what you're ultimately trying to do. You're not just trying to describe the external problems about, hey, you suck at cold emailing, you suck at cold calling. It's not just that. You're trying to describe like everything in terms of how they really feel about this whole shadoodle, the whole shebang. And so the better you are at describing this, the easier it's going to be to sell. So what you want to do is you want to sit there and think in terms of like, or you want to just sit down and write the actual internal problems that they have based on maybe the external problems that they're going through. So maybe they're just like, okay, they've got no time, no money. So think about like no money. No money is an external problem. What's the internal problems that people have with no money? It's like, okay, no money. I mean, it sucks. Like the feeling absolutely sucks. You're sitting there, you're stressing every day, every month. Like, hey man, how am I going to freaking pay rent? And it's like just stressful as hell. Your mind can't go anywhere. I mean, it's like you see everyone else, they want to go out, do fun things. They want to go out to eat, but you know, like, hey, you're broke. And so you're sitting there like it doesn't feel good in any way. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get into these internal problems that people are having. When you do that, now everything's easier. So if I'm selling something and I'm talking about technology, I'm like, hey, you got to get an autoresponder. You got to set up the website like this, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about technology. I can say, look, I understand if you're the old folks, if you're the baby boomers, you guys are old as all hell. I get it. You guys don't understand technology. And now you start describing the internal problems about how it's frustrating for older people to do the technology. It's like, I don't really get the mindset behind it, but hey, I think a lot of older people, they're just scared that they're going to delete stuff and things like that. And so what you're doing is you're trying to describe the internal feelings of the technology, of the external problem. So that's what you're really, really trying to do. You want to think of yourself as a psychiatrist. It's almost like, how does that make you feel? Oh, so you can't do cold emailing. How does that make you feel? So that's what you're really thinking about when you're trying to describe the internal problems. You want to say, all right, here's the external problem they have. How does that make you feel? And you become this psychiatrist and you study the internal feelings that people have. Now you're going to create all your marketing materials around those internal problems, those internal feelings. And when you do that, you're naturally going to sell more, whether it's your webinar sales page, sales videos, content in general. You're going to sell more because you're describing the internal problems that people are having. And then once you describe that in a way where it feels like they have, like you describe it in a way that's better than they can describe it, they will naturally feel like you have the solution. And then you're going to naturally sell more stuff. That is why your program may not be selling. And that is a solution to sell more. Nah, I forgot that doesn't work. Damn it.